Scooby-Doo is a fugitive Soviet space dog. Everybody knows that Scooby-Doo just wouldn't be Scooby-Doo if the titular character couldn't talk. But it might annoy some people that the writers never thought to explain why the kid's loyal canine companion can speak English. Sure, Scooby-Doo. Mystery Incorporated cooked up a complex explanation involving interdimensional aliens. But the original Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, never explained it at all. But if you consider the time period of the original show, and use your imagination a bit, maybe there's an explanation. Consider that Hanna-Barbera's Scooby-Doo Where Are You? Came out in 1969, right in the middle of the détente in the Cold War, and just a few months after the Apollo 11 program put astronauts on the moon for the first time. By then, the Soviet Space Agency had been going strong for years. Sputnik 1 became the world's first artificial satellite in 1957, and the Vostok 1 spaceflight made Yuri Gagarin the first man in space in 1961. But if you know the history of the space race, you also might recall that the Soviets sent a few other cosmonauts into space before Gagarin's famous flight in 1961. Who were they, dogs? The famous Soviet space dog Laika, a stray dog from the streets of Moscow, was sent into space in 1957 as a living test subject on the Sputnik 2 satellite, dying from overheating in Earth's atmosphere a few hours after being launched. The dogs Belka and Strelka were similarly sent into space as living test subjects on the Korabl Sputnik 2 satellite in 1960, and became the first Earth-born creatures ever to fly into space and return alive. In the universe of Scooby-Doo, it's a possibility that the Soviets also looked into an experimental breeding program that could have produced dogs with greatly enhanced intelligence. Scooby went on to live a happy life with his new friends, but the CIA also never gave up on the hope of getting their hands on a Soviet superdog for research. Though we never saw it on the show, there were more than a few American G-men who spent years futilely trying to find the mystery machine as it continued on its travels. Ever wonder why the show was titled Scooby-Doo Where Are You, of all things? That's why. Need more proof? Well, consider that Scooby is a Great Dane. Despite the misleading name, the Great Dane is actually a German breed. It's known as the German Mastiff in Germany. The Germans were responsible for most early research into rocket technology during World War II, and many of the Soviet Space Agency's researchers were German-born scientists recruited by the Russians. It's possible that Scooby's parents were brought over from Germany, along with the researchers who helped breed them. Also consider Scooby's famous speech impediment. The way Scooby talks, he almost gives off the impression that he's intelligent enough to learn the English language, but doesn't have a mouth adapted for human speech, because that's exactly the case. He was bred for his learning capability, not for his flawless elocution.